Testing, testing, one, two. All right. Audio should be coming in just fine. Oh no, is the stream still open? Um, Give me 1 second, guys. One second. All right. I have to look at this. Soups, if you're watching, I have to answer your DM later because we'll work it out. We'll trust me, we'll work it out. Doesn't matter. Let me start the damn show. Oh my God, you're kidding me. My mic was muted. I'm sick. All right, well, we're taking it from the top. Jesus Christ. All right. What's going on, viewers? This is your gracious host, Kaine Walker, back with another episode of the Monkey Paw, episode 28, where we document the downfall of mainstream Western entertainment. I am joined by my co-host, me and myself. We are doing fantastic tonight. Bozo, exactly. That's my fault. My mic was muted during sign on, and then I just kept yapping, bro. Oh my God. But anyway, and I spoiled the fucking topic. So you already know what I'm talking about before we get into the sweet baby stuff. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it hit me like a truck, and I just have to say something about it because people have been telling us for years that we're overreacting. Oh, it's not really happening. You're a conspiracy theorist. When we've been telling them, hey, there's some people putting some things in our video games that we don't want to see, that are overt and political in nature. And here we are in 2024 where fucking political candidates are putting downloadable content into your children's game, because I'm pretty sure the age group for Fork Knife is for the younger audience. And as you can see here on this Twitter post from IGN, the Harris Walls 2024 campaign's new Fork Knife map, Freedom Town, USA, is part of the Democrats' push to reach gamers and young voters. And like I said before, I know people don't like I told you so's. I don't give a fuck, because we told you so. How are people going to try and justify this? Like, I'm wondering. But anyway, let's take a look at the ad itself and then get into some of the comments. Pause for commentary. They put her fucking name? Oh my God! Because that's what I want to see when I boot up one of my. First of all, if Fork Knife is one of your favorite games, I'm withhold the next part of what I'm about to say. But you have terrible fucking taste in video games if this is your favorite game. All right. Second of all, are you fucking serious? Her name is in the game, God. Oh man. I just wanted to comment on that. This is ridiculous. Let's finish it. Wait a minute. What was that disclaimer at the end? Wait a minute. Okay, so it's paid for by them. They make the disclaimer that it's not sponsored, endorsed, or administered by Epic Games. How the fuck is it in the game then? How is it not administered by them if it's in the fucking game? Surely someone at Epic Games has to know before the shit in, man. Oh, man. Another brief second to go in on Fork Knife. This is like one of the many reasons why I always hated this game. It is a soulless fucking cash grab of a game that just jams whatever the fuck into it that seems popular at the time with no sense of cohesion. Characters doing things that make absolutely no sense for them. You have Thanos with a gold-plated AK-47 hitting the gritty. You know, Tootsie sliding or wherever the fuck dances they have in Fork Knife. I don't know what the fuck is in there. They might have Crank That Soldier Boy. I have no idea. But I have always hated this game because it is slop. Has nothing to do with it having gun shooting mechanics with building. That was never my gripe with it. This game just looks and feels like a soulless husk. Oh my god, I hate this game. Down to the comments. If there was ever a reason to uninstall this gamer slop, now is the time. I pity you if you've ever installed it to begin with, if I'm being honest. Here we go with the justification already. Y'all might call this cringe, but Trump literally said he wanted to ban video games. So, and that's fucking stupid too. The fact that the fact that we're putting politicians in the same conversations as video games is the annoying part of this entire thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate the person who showed me this shit because I had to talk about it. They know who they are. Oh my god. I mean, whatever. Okay, I will give them credit for using some of the best renditions of characters they put in the game. I've never had a problem with that. Like, whenever they use the Marvel characters, they use the best versions. They know what versions to ask for, and they at least do the models justice. That does not change anything I said prior. It's still a soulless husk. Even before this, but especially after this. Oh, man. This was absolutely dreamed up by an all-female focus group. Wow. This feels extremely unethical. Apparently, this shit is against their own terms of service. Because they're not, well, the Xbox terms of service, their own terms of service. Maybe Sony's, I'm not sure. But you're not allowed to put overt political messaging, especially when it comes to, like, election-related stuff in your game. And you're not allowed to do it. Apparently, it's illegal. I don't know too much about that. But it definitely sounds like it should be illegal if it's not. Now I don't even want to read the rest of the comments because they keep bringing up Democrat, Republican, and that's not something I ever wanted to talk about. But it's worth bringing up for the express fact that you have political candidates literally trying to buy votes using video games. And they've done it before with other culture too. Like, you've seen Biden's endorsement in a fucking Savage Dragon comic book. You saw Obama's face on the front cover of a Spider-Man comic book, and I hated it every single time it showed up in fucking anything. This is disgusting. It's annoying. It's not why the fuck I play video games or read comic books or watch a movie. None of that shit. And it needs to go the fuck away. Voting Trump, but now with prejudice. Exactly. Why must everything be politicized? This is atrociously embarrassing. I just don't get. Oh god, this. You would have to be on Twitter to know why I'm shaking my head at this particular poster. But I don't know anything about Fork Knife. Y'all are gonna have to cue me in. I have no idea. I took one look at that game and immediately I never wanted to touch it a day in my life. This is already aged poorly, Alan. You think this shit is gonna stand the test of time? People are gonna like this and look back on it fondly years later? Hell no. It'll either be forgotten or looked upon in infamy. There is no in between. I mean, that's the thing, though, Mina. Yeah, Fork Knife used to be a build for defense PV. Wait, what? PVE game. Never mind. I thought you were gonna say PvP. I thought it was always a PvP game. I never knew Fork Knife's fucking focus was PvE. I thought it was always PvP. I was about to talk about how they made a no build mode because nobody liked the build feature. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure no build mode is like their most popular shit. If I'm not mistaken, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. But anyway, we'll get more into this when I actually do an actual episode. Well, I guess this counts as an actual episode of the Monkey's Paw, but you get my point. I'm sure, I'm sure Soups and Vidge have their own opinions of this that we'll likely share on the next episode. But this shit is just ridiculous. One more thing I'm going to show though. This is also on the official Team Kamala Twitter page, and they urge once again, this is not sponsored, endorsed, or administered by Epic Games. I don't believe that shit for a single fucking second. I'm just letting you know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that this is not sponsored, endorsed, or administered by Epic Games. I don't fucking believe it. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and this people are pointing out that this is a violation of terms of service for Epic Games, and I'm pretty sure that somebody mentions Xbox too. Somebody also mentions how the British military tried to do something similar, and their map got fucking canned. So I'm not reading this, but it's right here on the screen if you want to read it. Map called Freedom Town immediately bans guns. Sounds about right. Newsweek did an article on this shit. Kamala Harris fork knife map bans guns, has less than 400 people playing. Guns are unavailable on the fork knife map released by Kamala Harris' presidential campaign on Monday in a bid to appeal to younger voters, sparking some criticism on social media. I will be fishing for that article, and we're covering that bitch live as soon as I find it. Yo, that's happening. Freedom Town bans guns. Oh, man. Fuck. All right. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to bookmark these two tweets, though. That's enough. Now, for what we actually came here for. Fortunately. So, as you know, Kim Belair, CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., has been caught several times saying some questionable things about both gamers and the gaming industry. Particularly, excuse me, as it pertains to her goals for the gaming industry and what her and her company plan to do. And she did another fucking presentation at the XOXO festival this year. And this one's 21 minutes as well. Let's see how long I take to dissect this one. Anyway, I don't think I need any more context added. If you've been paying attention, you know who she is. You know who Sweet Baby Inc. is. You know why they're famous. You know how much they hate, you know why they're infamous. And you know how much they hate their infamy. Let me just play the video. Kids love guns. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are fucking crazy.
So welcome to the stage, Kaine.
Here we go.
Hello, I'm Kim Belair. In my circles, I'm largely considered, I think, a relatively nice person. These are my dogs, Sage and Flaky. These are my cats, Tag and the Gray Boy. I really enjoy Lego. I collect skulls and taxidermy, and I also really like playing a lot of video games, including Elden Ring. By day,
Sure.
I am the crazy
Fucking
CEO
sure.
of Sweet Baby Inc., the DEI-obsessed censorship mafia who is currently ruining and wokeifying all of the video games that you've ever played.
Dude, they cheered after that. Are you bro? She said that sarcastically, as if to suggest that's not what's happening, and then people cheered for it because they know that's exactly what the fuck she's doing. Also, great job trying to hyperbolize what people are actually saying on the internet. They're wokeifying every game we've ever played. It's not what the fuck people are saying. They point at the projects that you work on verifiably because of your great website and pages like DEIdetected.com, and they make fun of you for it. They say you don't belong. They say you should go the fuck away. They say you should fade off into obscurity for all of the remaining time. But no, let's just pretend that's not what the fuck is being said. Cherry pick some of the weakest arguments said by the community, which that's not very fucking many, and go on stage and what I'm presuming is gaslight the fuck out of everybody for the next 21 minutes and 2 seconds. All right, let's continue.
Thank you. It's hard work. If you haven't heard of Sweet Baby Inc., thank you.
God bless you.
That's actually how I prefer it. But if you have, it's either because of the over...
That's how we all prefer it. But then you fucked around and existed. So I guess that's a curse on everybody.
80 amazing and often award-winning games that we've worked on, or actually one of those...
I'm already pausing a bunch. The amazing and award-winning games. Like, who gives a fuck about them being award-winning? Who cares? Do gamers care? No. Hey, y'all, have you ever heard of Battle Shapers? Y'all know what the fuck that is? Do y'all know what that is? Do y'all know what Sable is? Run and jump, slam dunk? What about Usual June, that famously known award-winning game? Y'all know what the fuck those are? Have you ever heard of those, man? Oh, man. I know that there's 3 games people know about on this list. It's just funny how there's only 3 of them. There's 3 other well-known games she could have probably put on this list, but who the fuck knows Sable, Battle Shapers, Run and Jump, Slam Dunk, and Usual June? Who knows those? Is that 4? That's 4 games out of the 7 on here. That's crazy. Spider-Man 2, nobody liked it. It was woke garbage. God of War Ragnarok, people did like it at first, and then they realized it was woke garbage. Alan Wake 2, everyone immediately knew it was woke garbage. What the fuck do awards count for nowadays? Anyway, continuing on.
Amazing and often award-winning games that we've worked on, or actually one of those, Usual June, was at this very
Exactly. They're not gonna put Sushi Squad Kills the Justice League because of how bad it fucking was. They're not. I just can't wait till 100-Star Games finally drops their magnum opus on the entire gaming landscape, and we play something that's actually worth the fuck again, made by some people from goddamn Rockstar. That's Rockstar, right? I'm probably fucking up. I get Rockstar and CD Projekt Red mixed up. I have no idea why. But the makers of the Arkham games, y'all get my fucking point.
Conference. So yeah, you've either heard us from all of these wonderful games, or perhaps you're familiar with the nearly year-long hate campaign.
Oh no, the collage of people telling the truth about her trash games. Oh boy. Let's pull it back. Hold up.
These wonderful games, or perhaps you're familiar with the nearly year-long hate campaign that has been waged against us as a team. Unfortunately, today...
Year-long hate campaign. Not slew of criticism pointing out exactly where you're fucking up. It's a hate campaign because no one's saying, hey, this is where you went wrong. This is why your game's garbage. Maybe if you did something different, it wouldn't be garbage. Nah, they're just hate. Whatever.
I'm here to talk about that in a talk I'm going to call What Happens When You Get Harassed? A Sweet Baby Story. So I'm going to start at the beginning. Who is Sweet Baby Inc.? We are a narrative development company, and we are a team of narrative developers. What that means is that we do script writing, storytelling, narrative work for video.
Script writing, narrative design, story development, cultural authenticity, punch-ups, edits, writers' rooms, workshops, narrative production. You know what a huge component of all those things is? Character development. Especially with the cultural authenticity piece. Yeah, whenever whenever people point out that Sweet Baby Inc. is associated with a project that has a race swap character in it, they insist that the final decision did not come to them. That might be the fucking case, but it's bullshit and a cop-out. And here's why. They act like they have no fucking influence on the project. And if you have no influence on the fucking project, why the fuck are people hiring you? That shit doesn't even begin to make sense. You have influence in all of these areas. So how is it unbelievable that you're the reason why characters that are white redheads, canonically, get changed into black women? Or white blonde women in the promotional material get changed into black women? Literally in your first presentation, someone's like, hey, let's make a stereotypically French person. And then you said, all right, but if you got to do that, can they be a person of color? Like, you say that out of your own fucking mouth. Somebody wanted a character to have a French person be stereotypically French, meaning that they would look stereotypically French. And you said, nah, let's add some seasoning to it. But we're supposed to believe you when you say you didn't have anything to do with those convenient character changes. Okay.
Video games, and sometimes that means that we come in for writing punch-ups. Sometimes that means we're the entire writer's room for a project. Sometimes that means we're coming in very, very early on and helping them start the groundwork, the world building. But what I want to really stress is that all of our work focuses very heavily and very seriously on story. That is what narrative development is. We started out in 2018, but it was really in 2020 that we kind of came to any kind of industry prominence, and it was on a backdrop of the COVID quarantine sending everybody home from the office. Me Too sweeping through the games industry as various bad actors were named and shamed, appropriately, I should say. And also the Black Lives Matter protests were in full swing. At the time, the industry was kind of responding in the way you might imagine, with a lot of corporate overpromising, but within the writing sphere, there were a lot of offers for portfolio reviews. Like, hey, if you're a marginalized or especially a black dev, we would love to give you a portfolio review.
If you're a marginalized and especially black dev, not if you're talented and aspiring to have a career in fucking narrative design and you think your work's good. Nah, if you have this phenotype or this disability, I urge you to apply. These people's heads were never in the right fucking place for this line of work, dog. You mean to tell me that for narrative consultancy and writing, which is an extremely cerebral field of work, the first thing you want to fucking highlight and have people join on the basis of is disability and fucking marginalization. Which is code for no white people, by the way. These people are fucking talentless hacks, bro. And we get called that as the customer, even though we're not even trying to be talented. We're trying to experience a product. So that criticism doesn't even fucking make sense when it's levied at us. My fucking lord. Continuing.
And I want to say I love portfolio reviews. It's something that we also do at Sweet Baby for free. So if anybody in the audience right now is looking for a little bit of a portfolio review or wants to talk about video games, we'd love to do that. But the problem with portfolio reviews is that they also assume that it's a meritocracy, right? They assume the problem is your portfolio and not the fact that maybe there's a lot of other reasons that you are not getting the gig. So knowing that there are myriad problems to be solved, we created an email called talk@SweetBabyInc, and we just said, hey, if you were
the millions of problems that you fucking made up.
Developer who wants to get into the industry, if you're someone who's already in the industry and you want to talk, just talk to us. And so in that year, we ended up with a lot of people who we connected to, and we talked a lot about advocacy. We talked a lot about helping people get into the industry, and we also talked a lot about the importance of telling stories from a variety of perspectives, and especially of having those writers and those creators in the room to help you with that. And as we joined new conversations, as we worked on more projects, more people joined our team. And so in that year, or in those subsequent years, we grew from a team of only 5
this fucking art
to
style,
a team
bro.
of 16 incredibly talented people. And during that time, as you might imagine, a lot of game teams were looking for guidance, both in terms of narrative, but also in terms of learning how to tell diverse stories and feature diverse characters.
Not learning how to tell good stories. Let's hear that one more time.
Narrative, but also in terms of learning how to tell diverse stories and
learning how to tell diverse stories. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean, bro? Oh, fucking God. Not one time has she gone into the aspects of what makes those things matter in storytelling. What aspects should be emphasized when it's pertained to the self-contained narrative itself. No, it's about telling diverse stories. No, man, this is such vapid fucking language. This new speak bullshit, dude.
For guidance, both in terms of narrative, but also in terms of learning how to tell diverse stories and feature diverse characters. And so naturally, because we were kind of in that conversation, we helped them.
Non-white.
Throughout the years, again, we worked on, as I said, a ton of games. For most of these, we did writing, story development. Sometimes we just kind of came on and did spot checks. But the thing that genuinely made me...
What does that mean? You came on and did spot checks. What does that entail? So if a person inferred that you race swap characters based on that comment, would they be wrong?
Really, really proud of all of us was that we were living up to the title that I had wanted to. We were becoming true narrative developers, capable of taking on pretty much any task as far as it touched story on any project at any time.
Man.
And that expertise was a result of all the different kinds of work that we were doing. For those not in the industry or not familiar with it, most game writers in their entire careers will see 5 to 10 projects as just, a lifetime. And we would see that many projects in a matter of months. And what happens when you work on that many projects and you get to see the inside of so many processes is that you don't learn necessarily like, oh, here are the ins and outs of working in this specific company. You instead hyper-focus on narrative and all of its parts. And you get really good at it. You get really, really specific at it, and you become craftspeople. And funnily enough, as far as this company is concerned, that was actually my end game. I wanted us to become craftspeople because when I was a kid, I learned a lot about Carrie Fisher. And beyond her acting career, she was actually a very respected script doctor in Hollywood. And I remember finding that so fascinating and really, really striking because quite famously, she was someone who struggled a lot with the eye of fame. But it was so comforting and interesting to hear that in this community of artists and writers, she was deeply respected just for her craft. And if I'm being honest, just as a creative myself, that's all I've really ever wanted. I've never wanted to be known by audiences, really. I have never wanted to be known by gamers, certainly. And I've wanted to be...
You work in video games. What the fuck? See how much disdain is in her voice when she says that? Or in her speech? You do narrative consulting for video games, yet you're disgusted by the very people you attempt to create things for. How does this even make sense, dude? The only way it does make sense is when you realize they never got into it because they like doing it. They got into it to push propaganda. That's why they got into it. That's the only way the shit makes sense. It's the only reason why you would get into a field and make things that target the people you actually don't like. Is if you want to get into their favorite things and ruin them. That's the only way it makes sense. Doesn't make sense for a person who has love and passion for the very medium they work in to hate it. Those two things are antithetical. There's no way those two people exist in the same body, bro. You hate the gaming industry, and you got into it to destroy it. That's the only fucking thing that makes sense.
I have wanted to be known by game devs and writers especially. I want teams and studios and writers and creatives to think of us when they need a hand, when they want that more support. I want
God,
to
no.
be a game dev's game dev, and that's where I hoped it would be, but that is not what happened. Because in October of 2023, we had about 70 games under our belt at the time, but two of them, two very, very big ones, were about to drop within a week of each other. So on October 23rd, there was Spider-Man 2, and then on October 27th, there was Alan Wake 2, both big AAA games.
Bro, this is Alan Wake 2, Alan. Oh my God. Alan, this... I don't even know if there is an Alan Wake 3, but no, this is Alan Wake 2. By the way, I saw your prior comment. You said this game was good. God. I saw the gameplay for this. It's a lot more narrative driven than I'm used to Alan Wake being. I did play the first one. And the writing was garbage. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how you think this game's good.
Games, and we had worked on narrative and character for both of them with literally years of work on Spider-Man 2, and we would finally get to announce them. We were very excited. In retrospect, we were actually like comically excited because we had a couple thousand followers at the time, mostly game devs, and we were like, okay, it's time to stand up and be proud of our work. Wow, this is gonna be really nice. And I remember even thinking that morning as we made these posts, like, I wonder if anyone's gonna notice that like we posted about Spider-Man, we're also posting about Alan Wake. Like, will anyone put it together? Because I think our way of working at Sweet Baby, the kind of like teamwork that we do on so many different games is really, really unique. I think it's really cool. I think people will be excited about it and about our craft. So I decided to do a cheeky Google and see like, hey, had anyone
A cheeky
put
Google.
that together? The Google went bad. I shouldn't have done it because rather than any praise or people going, wow, how did you do it? Or just, hey, a narrative development company, what does that mean? I'm really interested. We were instead found by kind of 4chan and the worst people on
4chan?
Twitter. And looking back, there is a fun...
Let's read some of these. Top left. And if you ever thought every modern AAA feels written by exactly the same people, it's because they basically are. Neocaf.com, October 31st, 2023. Bottom left. Every AAA American game studio has been outsourcing their game writing to this shitty ESG-obsessed company. Reddit.com, October 3rd, 2023. Top right, Sweet Baby Inc. are basically a branch of BlackRock that consults on ESG and gaming. Basically, if you want ESG funding, you need to pass the ESG scores by this company. 9gag.com, December 2023, excuse me. Bottom right. The most sinister actors in any industry often hide behind a harmless or infantile mask to conceal their true intentions. I've said this before. I mean, it's the mark of any political Trojan horse. Fill in the blank on what some of those might be in recent years. Every political vehicle that turns out to be catastrophically bad for everyone is always put forth under the guise of an extremely agreeable message for the fellow man, and it's some phrase that no one would disagree with on its face. But as soon as you do research and start digging behind what the group that represents or flies this certain flag, phrase, or sentiment is about, you always find that it's some sinister shit every time. Usually rooted in some form of socialism, Marxism, or communism. Or critical theory, which is essentially basically the same shit. This organization has completely infiltrated the industry. YouTube.com, November 2023. And she said this is what she wanted to do in one of her fucking interviews. She wanted to essentially take over the entire games industry. And now she hates that she's been discovered. And is being vehemently rejected. Like a bad blood transfusion.
Funny element to it where I go like, people were kind of talking like, I've discovered a secret Canadian company. Like, these are the guys who did it. And the discovery that they had made was actually like our public-facing website that we advertise our services on, and which you can go to right now. A website.
See, and this is, okay. She's about to make the point that she was never hiding. And she's going to make fun of the idea that a bunch of people who didn't know something existed before had discovered it. And this is why... This is a completely different discussion, but it's related. This is why I don't like tabloid-like figures on YouTube who farm drama. Because they take a whole bunch of fucking information and they hide behind the fact that it's publicly available to justify them using it, even though before no one knew about it. And now you're going to put it on a fucking YouTube video that's going to get hundreds of thousands of views. And now it's going to get spotlighted. Anyway, I said that to say publicly available doesn't mean widely known. So this is another dishonest fucking gaslight. Especially since before, she acknowledged the fact that she wasn't very well known and very few people knew about her. So making fun of this is actually stupid. Just because the shit is publicly available doesn't mean anyone knows where the fuck it is. That's why when people knew where it was and went to go find it, you changed the fucking website. I remember when we were just discovering that this web page was available to look at, and we actually did an episode on the Monkey Paw reading the exact fucking About Us page, which has now been fucking changed, to get rid of some of the jargon used by some of these woke-tards. But anyway, continue.
Did it. And the discovery that they had made was actually like our public-facing website that we advertise our services on, and which you can go to right now if you'd like to collaborate with us or just learn more. It's not hidden, and if it is, it's very bad because it's
no one ever said it was hidden.
But literally within a few hours of me seeing that first post, we were not only being accused of, forcing a black person into Alan Wake, which one is cool, but we didn't do.
You absolutely influenced that decision.
New York, which,
you're full of
again,
shit.
So good.
You
Love
hyper
to see them,
suggested it.
but
There is proof
them,
that you've suggested
suddenly,
similar things in other projects by your own fucking admission. You absolutely did have them change the white female protagonist of Alan Wake 2 to a black female protagonist. You are a fucking liar. You literally got on stage in another presentation and said they wanted a stereotypically French person. French people stereotypically have white skin. You wanted them to change it into a person of color. You said that you said you've done things like that before. So why the fuck are we off base by saying, "Oh, that bitch done did it again" with Alan Wake 2? Out of your own mouth, you said you've done shit like that. This is a fucking lie. You absolutely did. No one is going to believe for a single New York fucking second that you didn't have any say in what color the fucking protagonist was. Pack it the fuck up. You did that shit. No one believes you.
We were being told that we were, funded by BlackRock, and that actually we weren't a narrative development company. We were a DEI company, some kind of vaguely defined censor, and that we were here to...
Vaguely defined censor. Does she not go around in her interviews in her first presentation talking about how she wanted to... She uses 2 out of the 3 buzzwords in this fucking presentation. She already said diversity a million times. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. The shit was all over their webpage. And anyone that's been paying attention this long fucking knows this. I don't have to prove shit. I don't have to pull receipts. None of that shit. Every time you see Sweet Baby Inc. on a fucking video game, what do you find? Mainstream leftist bullshit. That has nothing to do with the fucking subject matter of the game. It's just shoehorned in that bitch for no reason. And it takes away from what would otherwise be a great game and plot. DEI is now suddenly a vaguely defined buzzword that we're just pulling out of our ass that no one who thinks like you has ever said and defined in explicit terms. This is what the fuck they're doing now. They're going right back to, oh, they're crazy, it's not really happening.
Use all of the power we had amassed
A cursory Google search will show you that she's talking bullshit.
to force companies to go woke. And obviously that's a very baffling understanding of what work for hire is. I'm not sure how they imagine we did it or how the contracts would be drawn up for it, but it kind of didn't matter because it just kept evolving and spinning out of control, and suddenly the conspiracy was just...
Again, you get hired to do narrative consulting, but you have no influence. You expect people to believe that shit. You don't have any influence over any decisions. Bullshit.
Was just alive. They were finding photos of us, sometimes our families or our contractors. They were doxing me and other members of the team. Anyone calling these attacks out as doxing was accused of doxing themselves or lashing out. That's me. I'm the CEO. I have issues. But yeah, this went on for weeks and then months. At its peak, which was somewhere around February, March of this year, we were getting something like 300 emails a day, which admittedly some of those are going to be spam or bots or whatever it is, but they were often accompanied by death threats, threats to our family. We did have one bomb threat.
I don't believe you. Every time people say I got death threats, they never show them. And wishing death on someone is not a death threat. A threat is saying, I'm going to come to your house and do something to you. That's a threat. Go die in a fire is not a death threat. Go to hell is not a death threat. Go jump in a lake is not a fucking death threat. They never fucking show them. Ever.
Made to the police that they contacted us about, and at best, the nicest thing you would see in some of these spaces was that we were a punchline. But any defenders were really shouted down quite quickly. And in moments when this movement couldn't dig up another reason to attack us, they would just kind of move on to other groups who they perceived to be like us. All while doing the work of erasing all of those people's and our actual jobs and interest, and papering over it with kind of that rallying cry of far-right supremacy, DEI. And the
rallying cry of far-right supremacy. There the fuck it is, bro. It doesn't matter how apolitical, how politically homeless, how non-right-leaning conservative you are. If you don't agree with any portion of this bullshit, even if you're something like a monarchist or a fucking... I don't even fucking know. The point is, all roads lead to far right. All of them. It doesn't matter what the fuck you are. If you disagree with this shit, you're a far right, whatever the fuck. Regardless of whether you call yourself that or your political alignment even falls into that category. You disagree, you're far right. Period. End of discussion. And this is why no one likes these motherfuckers, because they're intellectually lazy and they can't take any criticism. But that's the entire name of the game. That's why you shouldn't debate them. You shouldn't take them seriously in discussions. You should just point and fucking laugh and mock them until the end of time, because they're not in the business of having an honest fucking discussion. It's never going to fucking happen.
As ridiculous and stupid as it all was, I actually was not prepared for the escalation of it when noted buffoon and Twitter CEO Elon Musk decided that he would chime in with his very cool thoughts.
Treat them like zoo animals. Just look at them from a distance.
Yeah, some very cool, very good thoughts in there.
Wait, what did Elon say? What did Elon say? Sweet Baby Inc. is an evil blight on the gaming industry. All they do is make games terrible and try to cancel people. They cannot go broke soon enough. Hey, they tried to cancel Cabrutus, the one guy who made that DEI detective shit, and basically they Streisand affect themselves into prominence through him. because they tried to get rid of his Steam account. They tried to get rid of his Steam curator group. Fuck, I don't know what else they tried to get banned that he owned, but they tried to get a few things banned that he fucking owned. And by trying to keep his fucking news coverage or reports or, you know, games lists that they were featured in hidden, they just highlighted themselves further. And now he has a sizable following at this point, has his own website. And all of that work they did to try to silence him backfired.
Yeah, some very cool, very good thoughts in there. Lots to think about. So
affiliates for your company have tried to cancel people. That is a fact.
Since the beginning, it wasn't great, but you know, we were receiving countless emails, all this constant hate. It was targeted enough to feel disconcerting, even when it was kind of silly, and it was also kind of drowning out the support. But when Elon chimed in,
because you have no support, you have no real support. The same people, of those there are staggeringly few that champion your video games, do not buy, do not purchase, do not play, do not participate. The modern audience is a myth. Never fucking existed. And all of the people that pretend to like your shit, that's all they're doing. Fucking pretending. That shit does not report back in the way of dollars, fan reception, any of that shit. Nobody likes you. You have no supporters that aren't affiliated with your fucking company.
Then it really made me realize the scale of it, because the richest man in the world was suddenly turning like the Eye of Sauron onto 16 people trying to make a pretty modest living in the industry that they love, and he was arguing for our collapse. And this meant that, you know, it was when this happened and when it got bigger than this, you can tell I got it early as a screenshot, but yeah, it made us realize that this was huge. We were being attacked in a massive and coordinated campaign of harassment, and that sucks.
Massive and coordinated campaign, except you showed a collage of several individuals that probably don't even know each other, and they all did their own videos covering a topic. How is that coordinated? What are the odds that every single one of the people she showed knows each other? What are the fucking odds that any of those people, especially the YouTubers, who I'm talking about primarily, have anything to do with Elon Musk posting? God damn, I can't talk. What are the odds that any of those people have anything to do with Elon Musk posting that fucking tweet? Not to mention the other hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of other people on Twitter who feel the exact same fucking way as all those YouTubers and Elon. What are the fucking odds? So now, not only is everybody far right, everyone's this giant hive mind harassment campaign that's out to get you. I hope people are starting to realize how this shit works.
But it does get me closer to the question of what happens when you get harassed. So first of all, just as a spoiler, like what happens when you get harassed is it sucks. I can't recommend it. If I had to rate the experience, like 1.5 stars probably.
You are not funny.
It's not the best. But more specifically, what happened during all of this, if I can kind of dig down into this review, is, you know, we lost our voice. And we didn't just lose our voice as a collective. We lost our voice
You lost your voice
because people on our team.
You lost your voice, but you moved on to try and offer money to the makers of Sun Wukong to include DEI. Then you went on to work on other projects. By the way, the company that made Sun Wukong, or I think it's just called Wukong, company that made Wukong told them to fuck off. So kudos to them. even though it's a Chinese product, which is another topic I won't get into right now. But anyway, you get the fucking point. And I'm pretty sure they offered them money to consult on that game. So what do they mean they lost their voice? This shit is just so overly dramatic, it fucking hurts.
Team were either hounded off of social media or, you know, they get attacked so...
Hounded off of social media. None of them were hounded off social media. You couldn't take the heat, so you got the fuck out the kitchen. That's what the fuck happened. Harassment is just another word for criticism, because that's all the shit was. People telling you that they don't like you and why, pointing to specific examples, pointing to your words written on your website that came out of your mouth. That's what it was. Criticism. Caustic criticism, but criticism.
And we didn't just lose our voice as a collective. We lost our voices individually because people on our team were either hounded off of social media or, you know, they get attacked so consistently that it just becomes frustrating to use. It's not enjoyable to hop on anywhere and get that wave of hate. So within Sweet Baby, you know, beyond what we do for work, there are authors, there are comic book creators, there are TTRPG creators, game designers, people who have other work that they want to share with the world, that they should be allowed to share with the world. But just for existing within our company, just for working on the games that they do, they were attacked.
I might do a Halloween stream. Maybe I'll play something scary on Halloween, because it's actually on a night that I'm probably going to be available to stream. Pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken, Halloween is on like a Thursday night or something. Last Halloween I played the Lovecraft map in Killing Floor 2. I'll have to figure out what I'll play this time. It's going to be something scary though. I want to play something scary. Sweet Baby Ink jump scare. What's up? What's good, Sham? Wait, you were here. Wait, I said hey to you before. God damn it. This ain't the fish's fin. That bullshit. Anyway.
Even contractors, people who literally worked with us for, like, you know, a spot check, a week or a couple months, within our company just for working on the games that they do, they were attacked. Even contractors, people who literally worked with us for, like, you know, a spot check, a week or a couple months. But
hang on. It's funny how she said that the people that worked on games for her company were attacked when you can literally see Sweet Baby Inc. employees going after people because they don't like their politics and because they don't like the fact that they're highlighting what they do in their video games. And yeah, I'm talking about Karutis. But the fact still remains, even if it's just one example, that people that are affiliated with her fucking company target, harass, and try to cancel people for real. This person called on her army of whoever the fuck to go and report Kabrutus's account to get it fucking banned, bro. She did that. And then they infiltrated his fucking Discord and did some other shit to it. I don't remember exactly what they did to it, but they damaged the inside of his Discord by infiltrating it as well. That was another story that people covered. So like, it's very rich hearing this from her, that criticism is a form of attack when you have people that are affiliated with their company that literally harass and attack people. Not physically attack, but they go after them and try to silence them. Get their fucking accounts banned.
There was really, really nothing we could do. And as silly as it is, and as little as I miss the current Twitter, as little as I regret leaving it, the loss of, like, frivolity and, you know, frankly, like, dumb bullshit is actually a little soupçon of dehumanization. Because I would love to post a picture of my latte or my dogs without people
feel
going,
dehumanized because you had to leave Twitter,
hey,
or you felt like you had to.
Gay.
Exactly, Sham. Crybaby Inc. Exactly. Feeling that. That's a fact. Crybaby Inc.
dogs without people going like, oh, I guess coffee is woke now, and hey, that dog is pretty gay. But we weren't allowed. We are no longer allowed.
That's not a Twitter post. I don't think that's a Twitter post, y'all. That's not even what the flag looks like. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck this was supposed to be. Apparently somebody called her dog gay. What? I guess.
We're allowed to be in the conversation without, what amounts to mass targeting. Look at him up there.
This is the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. Yes.
And don't get me wrong, people did defend us. Some very, very great folks.
Who the fuck? Who supported you? Please put them on screen. Put all 5 of your supporters on screen. I have to see it, please. You had whole collages of the harassment campaign. Surely you will show us pictures of the people who supported you.
Folks like often writers, game devs, people who he had worked with, people he had not worked with, who could see this thing for what it was. But while I appreciated the defense and the team appreciated it so much, that support is still really hard to feel in the panic of the moment. And so instead,
where are they at?
Really guilty.
Where are they at? Where are the supporters?
Like I felt bad, not for doing the job that I love, but for building a space that was meant to be protective and creative for a bunch of people and having it turn into
Howard didn't show the damn supporters.
Something that,
probably because they don't exist.
Saw my friends and my loved ones and my colleagues and my coworkers just viciously and brutally hurt. I felt bad for making a company at all. I felt bad for believing in it and for speaking on it. People would come up to me, especially at events like I went to GDC.
No, I will not be playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. The Dead Rising 2 remake either. I'm not playing either one of those. No, that's not happening. The only way I play any woke garbage video game is if y'all help me fund it. I have a donation box in the description. If y'all want me to play some garbage, y'all are gonna have to help me pay for it, bro. Cause I can't, bro. Nah, my own money, no, no.
And they would very kindly tell me that they're inspired by me or by us and by our collective strength and our resilience. And I would say thank you so much, but deeply I would feel very ashamed, which intellectually I know is wrong, right? We are doing something good. We are writers and designers of tremendous skill and tremendous experience.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. By the way, no, if you want to play Dead Rising, play the original HD remaster or the original release period. One of those two, excuse me. The original release is superior to the fucking remake. Whatever quality of life fixes they add to that shit is not enough. It's not enough to justify a big ass new $70 price tag. It's not enough. Play the fucking original. Do not buy. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get the fuck out of town. Buy the original. Do not buy that shit. I've never been one to tell people what to do with their money. It's time to start saying it because shit is just too crazy now. Do not buy that garbage. Don't do it. Trash, avoid, do not buy.
And we've never censored anything, nor have we ever wanted to. Frankly, if you really want my opinion, I think largely games could be hornier. I think they should be darker. I think they should be stranger. Ever wanted to, frankly, if you really want my opinion, I think largely games could be hornier. I think they should be darker. I think they should be stranger. At the core of my approach here, and the approach that we take as a company, I genuinely believe that representation is not censorship. It is
representation is innovation. Ah, man, get the fuck out of here. What does that mean? Please define this term. Define this term. You have to do it now. Please. Because people who see this, particularly the people you call the far-right supremacists, whoever the fuck those people are, have a preconceived notion of what representation is. So perhaps if you define it differently in a way that is more palatable, they might agree with it. Let's see what you say, if you even decide to define that term at fucking all.
Innovation. Diversity in narrative makes things more intense. It can make it more visceral and more real. It doesn't have to always make something more wholesome or soft.
It is not the fucking diversity that makes those things possible in writing. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You have no fucking clue. I played Still Wakes the Deep recently. I recommend that game. But in that game, the main character faces a lot of strife. He loses a lot of good people that are close to him. And the things that made those moments impactful had fuck all to do with what color his skin was. It was the history he shared with the characters he fucking lost. It was the moments that you fucking witnessed in the game that helped you build a bond with those characters before they lost their fucking lives that made those things impactful. Diversity can make things more visceral and more impactful. What kind of stupid shit is that? Does that sound like story content to anybody watching? What the fuck did that even mean? Bond makes shit more impactful. Loss preceding a bond makes shit more impactful. History. Relationships. That shit makes stories more impactful. What is she talking about? This is basic character work.
Softer. I really do believe that by opening up to new perspectives, by getting folks in the room, we actually push more boundaries and we get more real. But what happens when you get harassed is it doesn't matter what you believe. What's also frustrating is that it doesn't matter what they believe either. Because so much of this campaign is just misinformation. It's assumptions and lies.
So much of this campaign is just misinformation, assumption, and lies. So why is it that every time your name is on a game, there's a gay flag in it, there's a black female protagonist in it, there's some woke mumbo jumbo ass jargon in it, there's a disabled person in it, there's some political commentary that has fuck all to do with anything in it. Every time you're associated with a project, there is something we do not want in it. It's misinformation. They're going right back around to you're crazy, it's not happening. The same trick won't work twice. It will never work again. This spell's weakness is awareness. We're not fucking idiots. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the fucking time. Or as George W. said, you fool me, I can't get fooled again. Goddamn.
Lies about who we are, what we do, and what we want.
Fuck,
We've
man.
worked on 80 games, as I said before, and I think that's pretty cool, but to them it's something closer to 200.
Every chick gotta look like Lord Bottom Tooth, the fucking third from Family Guy. The Crimson Chin.
We have our little fingers, our woke little fingers, in every pie in this industry. And that's the other thing that happens, right? They take away your power in some ways, but they also ascribe to you this enormous power. They will claim that you are rich, that you are backed by, shadowy cabals, government orgs. They claim you have the ability to force their favorite studios to bend to your whim rather than the truth, which is that studios and teams hire us to make stories better. Not woker, but actually
Walker. I saw that comment, Sham. Because everyone knows Roy was only impactful and Still Wakes the Deep because he's lesbian.
better. And
don't forget black and female.
Believe me, when this first started, I was so worried that studios would stop working with us. I worried we seemed too toxic. I worried we seemed too dangerous, too beleaguered, too much of a risk to work with, but that is not what happened. What happened was, at least privately, every team we worked with was quite supportive. The external silence, I'll say, was deafening at times and also frustrating, but such is the way of corporate. And it was still nice fundamentally, I think, to realize that studios, teams, and individuals still wanted us around and still saw our value.
I thought you lost your voice. She had a whole segment about how she was harassed into oblivion to the point where they couldn't have a voice anymore. And now she's right back around to, the support continued and we're still valued. Oh, man.
Which I will say, though, is also a very disorienting experience, because what happens when you get harassed is that you realize that most of it is just noise and that nothing functionally or fundamentally changes. People say, I'm so sorry for what you're dealing with, but could I get that script on Monday? And you say, yeah, it sucks. Anyway, I will get that to you Monday, though, because there is no time off. There is no stop in video game production. You can monetize a hate video, but there is no hazard pay for harassment. And we are not, despite...
Hazard pay for comments on the internet. Listen to that shit. Hazard pay for criticism from people on the internet, dog. Can you fucking imagine?
What you may have heard, so moneyed that we can just take a break or take a vacation and chill. So by day we worked, and meanwhile, all around us, the noise continued.
Soups is gonna be pissed.
This is
She
here
used the
because I remember
Yakuza
one
meme.
evening I was coming home and I was like, all right, I've dealt with too much today. I'm just gonna relax by going to the Yakuza subreddit, which I have to say,
The far-right
99% of the
supremacist
time
in the
is a
room with us
wonderful
right
space.
now.
It's very funny and the people are pretty nice. But not even thinking, I scrolled past a joke about Sweet Baby Inc. And the thing is, in service of this great subreddit, it was actually well-intentioned. It was not a joke intended to make fun of us. It was intended to make fun of the campaign. But the strangeness of it still, of it being everywhere, of it feeling inescapable, but meaning nothing in my day-to-day, was too utterly bizarre. And beyond just having to mute a wonderful, wonderful...
When shit doesn't mean anything to me in my day-to-day, I don't make 21-minute long presentations about it. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying.
Safe place for myself. I also wanted to quit. I wanted to leave the company. I wanted to do something else. I'll tell you that running a self-funded business in a very volatile industry is very hard on a good day, especially when you do something with us. But it's hard, let alone when Elon Musk is crawling bleary-eyed out of his money pit to tell us that we deserve to go broke. It's a disaster, but...
Because your fucking product sucks. Him being rich beyond your wildest dreams has nothing to do with that. Your product is garbage. That is why you deserve to fail. You are being rejected by the market in which you participate, yet somehow you still continue to exist. Pray tell how the fuck this is possible in a free market. Spoiler, it fucking isn't. Fill in the rest of those blanks.
What happens when you get harassed is also that you realize all you have is each other. And you can maybe call it trauma bonding, but when there are no prizes and no funds and no vacations and as compensation, right, and the only thing you have on your plate is suddenly your widely derided work, you also start to make more space for each other. You start to recognize that the work will sometimes feel thankless, but that you still love it. And you love it, fortunately or unfortunately, because you get to do it together as a team, and for us, that means we're doing it as Sweet Baby Inc. What happens when you get harassed is that you forget who you are, but...
Oh my fucking
writers,
God.
We are storytellers, we are narrative designers, we are creative, we are passionate, we are funny, and we are doing this because we love it. We love it so much, in fact.
You are talentless, you are hacks, you are soulless, you are thieves, robbers, you are time wasters, you are fucking goblins, You're barely human beings. Oh my God. When I say thieves and robbers, I'm talking about the good games that they rob us of, potentially. That being said, the only people, and we can use the makers of Wukong as evidence of this, the only people that would consider hiring Sweet Baby already had the intentions of injecting DI into their game. So it's not like a company that never had that plan was gonna do it. It's not like, man, we're gonna make this awesome game and then they just hire Sweet Baby. No, like typically before you fucking hire somebody, you get to know what they do for a living. So no, I don't think it was ever just games companies wanting to make a regular video game and then Sweet Baby just fucked it up. No, I don't think that's how the fuck it happened. The company would have to be in on it. That's the only fucking way. And you can kind of see that when you look at the interviews of that guy who was working on the second Spider-Man game. I forgot his name, but he said you have to give you have to give people a little bit of what they want so that you can push in some things that people don't know they want, which he almost said that people don't want. That guy.
In fact, that we'll do it even through the worst months of our lives, because our lives ultimately are about stories. And as I wrap up, I want to say that that's frustrating too, because it makes it really hard to talk about. There is an instinct, I think, in all of us, or at least a desire to tell a good story. And this whole thing, you know, whatever it is, isn't a very good story.
You do not have the desire to tell a good story. If you had the desire to tell a good story, the premise that you make up would have fuck all to do with superficial characteristics like race or sex or disability, or ability. It would have to do with an actual problem you faced in your life experience or a problem you've seen other people face in their life experience. That's what makes good stories. Authenticity. Having a real message to fucking say to people. Having something to say versus wanting to say something. And this entire company is evidence that you were never a true storyteller. Ever.
Story. There's not much of an arc, and frankly, there is no resolution as yet. Sometimes a story is just what happens. And what happens is you get hurt, you feel bad, you get tired, you get scared, you get angry, you get sad, you get really, really good at Elden Ring. Thank you.
Dear God.
I'm great at it now.
I'm great at it.
But after that, you get back to work.
You never get good at Elden Ring, ever. It never happens. The game will always fuck you up. You never get good at Elden Ring. You are never too good to get your ass folded, ever.
Because what happens when you get harassed is that you have to live with it, and they have to live with you. And so we'll see, I guess, what happens next. Thank you for your time.
A 21-minute long vent session. No, I don't want to watch fucking Street Fighter League. It's garbage. No one cares about Street Fighter 6. Nobody. I'm not gonna rant about Street Fighter. Oh my fucking God. Well, that's the Sweet Baby Stink presentation. Got on stage and just, as I figured, gaslit the shit out of everyone. Yo, this shit has... Wait, let me show you this before I fucking... Wait a minute, there's... The comments are turned off? Damn it! Should have known. But at least I can show you this before I get into my closing comments. This shit got ratioed to hell, bro. 340 likes. Stop zooming in. 340 likes. 6,000 dislikes. And they turned the comments off. So you know this shit wasn't well received. Because she was going to get called out on all her bullshit. Obviously. But anyway. The best way to counteract companies like Sweet Baby and all of the other companies that are just like them, because it's more than just them, maybe I'll do a fucking segment on a list of those other companies, because they definitely need to get a light shined on them as well. The only way to counteract them is to fund your fucking interests. Support indie developers who are actually trying to make a good fucking video game. Support independent creators of any facet of media that you enjoy. Literature, comics, video games, tabletop. And never give another dime to Sweet Baby Inc. or Black Girl Gamers, or I think there's one called Gamers, Gaymers. Don't give money to them either. Any of these fucking DEI consultancy firms, do not give money to them. Give money instead to people like Razor Fist, who have projects out, Rippaverse, Iconic Comics, just any Brandon Sanderson, or any other indie writer of novels. I can't name any right now. He's the only one I know of, because I've just been out of the novel reading game for so long, ever since Rick Riordan stabbed us all in the fucking back. But that's another story for another day. But you get my fucking point. If you want to see better media, you fund your interests. Or make your own. That's the only way we see the other side of this shit. Yeah, the only way out of this is through it. And we're gonna get tons more shit games for the rest of this year and probably half of next year, if not the entirety of next year. What the fuck does a next-gen experience even look like when it comes to gaming? What does that look like? What does that mean now? I will never forgive Rick Riordan. Never again. He looked all of his fans in the face. All of the people who read his shit ever since middle school, possibly elementary, and called all of them racist because they said, hey, you told us Annabeth Chase was a blonde white bitch with gray eyes. Why is she a black chick with braided hair now? He called them all racist for that. Completely betrayed his fan base. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever witnessed at the time. There would be worse things to come. Little did I fucking know. So what do y'all think of that presentation? Because I pretty much said everything I had to say. This shit took way less time than I thought it would. Maybe this one was shorter than the last one. No, it was pretty bad. The rest of my comments on the presentation will be available via playback, as if you didn't already know that. The fact that this shit got ratioed gives me some hope. But anyway, if there are no pressing comments or opinions that anyone wants to levy before I close out the stream, this has been your episode of the Monkey's Paw. I'm your gracious host, Kaine Walker. Wait, hang on. Fuck. I haven't shielded anything. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and click the links in the description to keep your fingers on the pulse of Cosmogoth. This has been your gracious host, Kaine Walker. I'm signing off, and I will see you all again next time. Peace.